Welcome to Roxtalks, the podcast that helps network marketers grow their business on social media. I'm Roxanne Wilson.
And I'm Taryn Soa, your social media sidekick.
Well, Taryn, I'm curious too. Would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
Definitely an introvert.
I think I'm an extrovert, to be honest with you. And you know what I've noticed is when it comes to network marketing, there are a lot of introverts, which can be a little bit scary because the business is about talking to a lot of people and you're doing a lot on social media. So I thought we'd bring a special guest to the podcast this week, the wonderful Grace Farquhar, who happens to be a double network marketer. She is in Zyia and UBAM, or Usborne Books and More. And she's also one of the Social Stories Pro members. So I get the great pleasure of getting to coach her. And I'm excited for you to hear from her. She's a lot of great things to tell us today, don't you think?
Yes, this is going to be a great interview. So buckle up.
Buckle up. We're going to talk to an introvert about life as a network marketer. So here we go. Taryn.
Roxanne.
Hi. You know what I was thinking? You and I both just had birthdays in March. Well, yeah, you did. Happy birthday again and happy birthday to me. And I don't know about you, but when I have a birthday, I'm always like, what can I do to amp myself up? I want to make myself over. You ever have that feeling?
No, I usually want to hide, but I see where you're going. Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll work on that later. Well, I'm like this year for me, I want to be my best self. And just like I was reevaluating everything that I was doing in a good way though. And I think it's important that every so often we do have that marker, whether it's the beginning of a new year or the beginning of our birth year, or just like every, quarter, taking a moment and looking at what we're doing in life and changing it, including our Instagram.
Yes, including that.
Yes. And I think that it's good to remember that your Instagram may not be who you are right now. Just like some things I have going on, I'm like, that's not me anymore. This is me instead. So my question to you all who are listening is, have you taken a look at your Instagram lately and asked yourself the big question? If I were my ideal target market, the person that I'm dreaming of joining my team or buying my product, would I even stop and hang out on that Instagram page?
Give it a good 10-second look. Are we staying or are we going? Exactly.
And if you aren't sure, if your stomach gets a little like, ugh, if you are not screaming the rooftops, yes, well, then you need to join us at the Instagram Makeover. It's happening again, and I'm so excited because it's time.
It is time. It's just like if you've gone to a department store recently, I don't know if anyone still shops in stores. They got their spring looks. It's time, baby. So it's time to give our Instagram just a nice little spring brush through, refresh. And maybe you still have last spring up. So let's bring it up to 2022 spring.
Yes. It's time to feel 2022. I'm feeling 2022. You know how that goes. We'd love to invite you to join us. It is free. It's coming up this April, but registration is right now. In order to join us for the free makeover, girl, you're going to look good. You're going to be walking in New York, like Times Square, like they do, like with their new look. Just simply go to socialstoriesmembership.com/makeover. We'll see you there or hang out in the show notes and there'll be a link right there.
Can't wait.
Grace Farquhar, it's so good to have you here on the Roxtalks podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, good. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you nervous about being here?
A little bit. My palms are a little sweaty.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing.
Well, I love that it's one of the things I love about you, and we're going to dive into all things you in a moment, is that you push through sometimes. I use the word push, forgive me. You carry on through, because network marketing can be this space that really is very like, get out there, put yourself out there, do all these things. And for someone who's not naturally driven to be like, here I am, it can be a little bit scary to be on a podcast. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. And ask me again how I feel at the end of this.
You're going to say, I don't know about you, but I feel good. That's what you're going to say. Hey,
I might even do a dance.
Oh, I'd love that. I love that.
Happens to all of us after we're on this. You can't help it.
And Taryn, what you don't know, Grace and I have in common, besides the fact that she, of course, is Network Marketing Pro member and all those things, is that she is a jazzerciser.
No way. That's
Way.
so fun.
Way.
You guys, I am kind of a jazzerciser now too.
Well, how did that happen?
It's just, so I work out on YouTube. Like I had this girl that I always follow. I buy her workout gear. Love her. Pop Pilates is her brand.
Oh, yeah.
And YouTube started suggesting this other girl, and she did like a workout to the new Encanto songs, and I had my kids with me. So I was like, let's do it. And now I can't stop watching her videos, and I dance, and it's so fun.
Nice. So is it actually jazzercise?
No, but I just
Okay.
wanted to include it.
Okay. I was like, is it Shannon, Miss and Nelson? I'm like, I know her. Yeah, you just let me down, but that's fine. Okay. I was so excited. No, I think that's great. Any exercise is fantastic. So Grace, we have you here, and I know you are from Houston.
Yes.
Yes, Houston girl. So it's always fun, or woman.
Wearing my red for UH tonight. Go Cougs.
You know what? I'm okay with that. I want the Big 12 or the future Big 12, not the former or the ones leaving, to do well in the March Madness tournament. So who are they playing? Do you remember?
They're playing Arizona. It's going to be a tough game.
Yes,
I think they can do it,
I
but
think they can.
yeah, they're in San Antonio. That's just right down. It's like a home game. So
Yeah, I am actually rooting for University of Houston, which my family is not. Because I grew up in Arizona. One of my sisters went to U of A, but I grew up on the ASU campus. So there's all these reasons that I'm like, yes, win University of Houston. So anyhow, which we should mention is we're recording this on the Sweet 16 week and the Elite 8 week. Did I say that right? Yes. Of March Madness. And go ahead and stand up for us, Taryn. Those who aren't watching, I will describe what she's wearing. She is wearing maize and blue. Hail to the victors, valiant hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail. That is my alma mater as well. So I'm a big fan of that. Anyhow.
My brother-in-law is graduating next month from there. So we're so excited. So this feels like an even more fun March Madness.
Congratulations. That's exciting. So let's dive into it. So you are with Zyia, you are with UBAM, also known as Usborne Books and More. I'm curious, which one came first, the cart or the egg, Zyia or the UBAM?
And UBAM came first.
And why did UBAM crop up?
Somebody actually invited me to a party. It was somebody that I worked with on a professional level, and she knew that I had a son. He was 3 years old at the time. And she said, he likes books, give it a look. It's like, oh, okay, fine. And at that point, my son loved books when he was a baby, but those parents are like, okay, let's give him a tablet because there's this great app out there for learning and everything. And so he was on the app quite a bit. And thought, maybe it's time to get him some new books. And so I went to this virtual party and I got a few books, and they came in a few days later, and I was amazed because there was one book in particular that he just kept looking at. He wouldn't put it down. And I think that whole entire weekend, he looked at his tablet maybe once or twice. And I was like, this is something pretty good here. And just seeing how he lit up when he was looking at the books, and me being able to sit down with him and kind of share that with him, I was like, okay, this is great. And I knew at that point I was going to be buying a lot more books. And so I decided, okay, well, let me go ahead and join in with the company. And that way I can definitely get a discount. And, maybe some of my friends might be interested as well. And I'm getting older. And I'm one of those people that is starting to look more and more about getting out of the city, going to the rural life, not Green Acres, but, move into a smaller place. I'm dating myself, aren't I? But wanting to do that and knowing that the job I have right now is a really good one, but it's not one of those that's necessarily transferable elsewhere. So I wanted to have something else on the side to be able to build up. So when that time comes, I can make that transition a little bit easier.
So you're a forward thinker. You're looking into the future. Do kids read books anymore? This question to both of you. Just curious. Do they?
Yeah.
Yes. It's amazing. If you find a book on a topic they like, they will actually open it. They will look at it, and they will look at it for a while. It's an amazing thing.
I have an almost 4 and an almost 2, and we've got books spread across the floor at least twice a week. Like they just open their little container and they look for their ones that they're looking for. And yeah, they love them.
I love that. I was a book nerd, so I love hearing that. But I just wondered with all the tablets and all the things and all the when I'm out, usually I see a mom. No, here we go. March Madness. You ready? So at March Madness, for some reason, the whole shtick right now is like, let's show the coaches' wives, even though they don't know that they're on camera during the game.
No.
They keep doing it, right? And what you
like
see a lot of times, you see them like all nervous, or you see them with their kids. They got the 3-year-old, the 4-year-old, the 5-year-old, that they're trying to just keep focused during the game because I guess they decided it's a good idea to take them to this game. And so, like, there was one coach, and she never looked up. She never even knew the camera was on her. Not that people know when it is, anyway, but she's just, let me grab my phone. She's the kids in her lap, her younger son is in her lap, and she's sitting there like, and he's trying to find his game on there, and she's trying to help him with that. And I'm just like, I saw that so many different times with different moms, like with their phone or the tablet. I'm like, oh my gosh. I felt for them, but you see that a lot out. I just wondered if books were a thing. I'm glad they are. They need to be a thing in a big way. So what have you found has been the biggest joy about being with UBAM?
The biggest joy is just seeing how the books, my son just really gravitates to them. And knowing that, first of all, I'm getting a discount. It's good because, the bank account matters, right? So knowing that my son really enjoys these books, and we actually just started a new book series, and we read a story every night, and he is so excited about it. And if I tell him that he needs to hurry up and eat his dinner, otherwise we can't read a book, he'll hurry up and eat his dinner. So just knowing that he enjoys the books, but then also with some of the other activities and things that come along with it, just seeing how confident he feels to be able to do some of the things on his own. And when he asks me questions, the next time he'll just tell me about it. He doesn't have to ask me about it anymore. And so things like that are really, really big for me. My son hasn't, in full disclosure, my son hasn't been diagnosed yet, but we do think he may be on the autism spectrum. And so a lot of these little wins that he's doing and accomplishing on his own and seeing a smile instead of a tantrum is just something that it warms my heart. And I don't overlook the little things now because the little things really do matter.
Thank you for being candid about that. I wasn't sure if you were going to feel comfortable sharing that or not. How has that changed, knowing and realizing that he may be on the spectrum? How has that changed, if at all, your business?
It hasn't changed my business necessarily because I don't want to lead with the fact that my son might be on the spectrum. That's not my point. What has changed for me is taking a different approach to the books that we get. Instead of just reading it to him and thinking he understands what I'm saying, it's more now about going through the page, showing him something, asking him about it, and explaining it to him if he needs explanation, or having him actually tell me what's going on, which is a big deal because that's where we've learned that he's having a struggle. So being able to find that out and to be able to help him in that process is really what's been helping me out and understanding more about the power of books.
Mm-hmm. That is huge. Something I love about this podcast is the realness of it, and having guests like you telling us about your life and your experience and your story and your journey is phenomenal. And I don't think there's any coincidence that you would be with UBAM. And so books are readily available and an important part of your life with your son to help you kind of through this process as you discover this new normal.
Mm-hmm.
Is Grace like your target market? Maybe moms who do have children with autism who are on the spectrum? Like, have you found that you like to talk to that woman, or is that not something you've gone down?
This is something that's relatively new to us. It's something that we discovered. We've always thought there was something going on, but we had him evaluated by a therapist back in December. So we're still relatively new to everything. Mm-hmm. And so I do have it listed as Autism Mom on my Instagram handle because I want people to understand why I don't necessarily show pictures of my son. And one, because it's hard to get a really good picture of him.
It is. Oh my gosh.
But also I don't want to necessarily make that the point of the business. But what I do want to connect with moms that have similar issues with their child not being able to understand certain things. And a lot of times it's probably going to be moms of autistic children, but there are a lot of kids out there too that struggle with learning in general, reading and things like that. And they probably share a lot of the same characteristics that other moms have that have autistic children. So it's really more about the connection with those parents that are just trying to find a solution to something that can help their kids.
I love that.
I do too. You're creating a safe space and showing them that you see them, you understand, and you are in that journey with them. I think that's phenomenal. So how did you get into Stretchy Pants?
Well, I will say, first of all, that I was one of those people that didn't wear a lot of leggings unless I was working out or until I got pregnant. And then I discovered that I liked leggings, but I thought that's all it was for working out and for pregnant women. So I had the few that I really, really liked. And then after my son was born, I still had that belief. But then I've always enjoyed doing my jazzercise. And I will say that I used to get a lot of the more inexpensive leggings, but I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a class after work and then had to go to the grocery store and was kind of hesitant because I sweat a lot. And so it looked like, I wet myself.
Yeah.
Which was not good. And then also in jazzercise, we do a lot of squats. And there's nothing worse than finding time to work out. And then you can't work out because they're doing squats and your leggings keep showing a little bit more than you want to show.
Crack.
And then you've just wasted that time because you've just felt embarrassed because, your pants are falling down. So someone told me about Zyia and I was like, okay, I'll take a look at it. I'm going to get, one or two things. And I tried it out and I just loved it because I love the feel of it. I love the different styles that are available that I can dress up or dress down. That way, some of it I can wear to work and then go work out afterwards or run around doing errands with and things like that. So I really like the variety. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna get into this because once again, I like discounts. Love the discounts. And so if I can get a good quality activewear to where I feel more confident when I'm working out, then I'm sold because I just don't have the time that I used to be able to work out 3 or 4 times a week. So I want to get a good workout in when I can.
Well, take that burden down. Like that is such a thing. Like I used to work at a place that the gym was connected and it's like, you would think it'd be so easy, but if you don't have the right workout clothes, guess what? You're not going. And I'm like, what a weird, I don't know, maybe men struggle with this as well, but women, like that's a big thing. Like if my leggings don't allow me to squat or I can't bend over because then like something's unfolding or who knows what, I'm not going.
Yep.
Amen to that. The curves we have. We want to feel supported and we want to trust that if I want to do a backflip, which I never will, I can do that because my pants will stay right where they need to be.
Yes. Let's start with a herky.
Yeah. Let's not say we did. So, network marketing is not for the introvert. Let's just go there. However, there are a lot of introverts in network marketing. I'm curious, when you first heard or understood what the business was, what made you decide, knowing that you are correct, you're an introvert? I just put that on you. I should have asked you.
Yes, it's not even close. I am definitely an introvert.
You're not. Yeah, you're full on. What made you say, yeah, I'm going to do this? I'm going to talk to a bunch of people. I'm going to put myself out there on social media. I'm going to have parties. Yes.
Well, for me, being an introvert doesn't necessarily mean that I can't do extroverted things. If someone needs me to, for example, do a presentation or speak in front of a group, I can do it. I get a little nervous about it, but I can do it and knock it out. But what comes after that is I need time, just downtime where I'm by myself and I can just chill and relax. One of the things with me is like if I go to a conference or if I help set up a conference or anything like that, when it's done, I almost always catch a cold because my body is just like, it was just going so much that I need that time to recoup. And my body's like, okay, you pushed yourself and all these other things start happening. So I've got to take some downtime. But one of the things that I found is that if there's something that I'm very passionate about and something that I love, I don't mind talking about it to other people. You know, I'm not going to go to, you know, someone's great grandma and say, you know, you really need to get this for your great grandkids this Christmas. You know, I'm going to build a relationship with somebody that I know that, you know, I know their kids and I know their struggles. And, you know, this is what worked for my son. You know, maybe this is something that you might want to try out, you know, those sorts of things. I don't like to just get out there and start selling. I've never been excited about being a salesperson. I've been more excited about sharing information. And that's how I see it. I don't want to put pressure on myself to have to make a sale or to, you know, be able to go on this trip or something. I put more pressure on myself if I'm not able to help somebody. And so that's my main focus with everything. If there's somebody that I feel like could use some help, then I'll reach out to them.
So what I hear you saying, and I think it's interesting put out there, is that really it's for you, it's about, you know, I hear you say, I'm like, okay, wait, so spammy Tammies are rarely ever introverts.
I was literally just thinking that was going in my head. I'm like, oh, you don't have that struggle of like being spammy Tammy. Like that's a perk of being an introvert. Like you're like, oh, I don't do that.
But one could call you a scared Sandra for sure.
Yes, I was going to say there is the flip side to that, to where if I do need to reach out to somebody that I'm not that familiar with, let's say somebody attends a party and I don't currently have a relationship with that, it will kind of stick in my mind, okay, how do I begin this conversation? How do I start? I don't want to look like this. And so there is that hesitation. And if you're not careful, it could be your excuse to not contact somebody. So trying to find that line to where you can cross it and feel comfortable crossing it is sometimes a struggle.
Yeah, it's the scared Sandra syndrome for sure. So how have you worked? Because especially when you get started, everything is scary when you get started, right? How have you worked past that and been able to continue to grow your business?
I think about how I would want to be approached. And I think back to like times when I go to like a nail salon. Usually I just like to go for the pedicures. I don't get manicures very often because it doesn't last for me, but I'll be sitting there in the chair and the person will come up to me and say, you know, you can get a manicure today. And I'm like, are my nails bad? You know, what happened here? Or, you know, we can do this and this and this for you today. And I'm like, well, no, I really just want the pedicure. You know, I never like when people just kind of come at me. I want
you don't like an upsell is what you're talking.
Right. I don't mind the upsell, but at least talk to me first. You know, let me know that you're not just trying to sell me something. And it's kind of like the whole analogy of, you know, going to a bar, having a drink. You see someone that's talking to you, and they may buy you a drink. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're ready to go elope, right? I want that relationship building. And so that's the approach I take. You know, how would I want somebody to approach me? Other direct marketers, I will give a little bit of leniency to because I understand where they're coming from. But most of the time, I don't just want to see something in my inbox. Hey, you know, I know you're a friend of such and such, and she just bought this. You should buy it too. It's going to be more of a, hey, I know you're a friend of such and such. How do y'all know each other? You know, where do y'all, did y'all go to school together? Just trying to learn a little bit more about them, because when I find I do that, not only am I building a relationship, but I'm also learning about, is this a person that is really in my target market? Is this somebody that I can see would really benefit from my what I'm trying to promote, or is it something that's not going to work?
Yeah.
That's gold.
It is gold. How do you, though, get to the point where you are asking for the sale?
Well, I feel them out. Well, first of all, they know who I am because they'll know that, oh, she's the one that sells such and such. So that's already in the back of their mind. They know it's going to happen at some point, but I need to know a little bit more about their kids, what they're looking for, what sort of common relationship we have. And then I can go from that. I can say something like, I know you were at such and such's party, and I wanted to let you know that, this is something that my son was really, really interested in. And if it's something that you think your son might be interested in too, then, I'm happy to give you more information about it. Or, I'm also offering this because of such and such's party that's going on right now. So, would you like more information? It's never, okay, well, it's been great talking to you. So here's what's going on. Bye now and Sunday, right? Because then it's just like, oh, okay.
Like it feels inauthentic, the conversation that you had before. I mean, I think we've all had that happen where it's like, it feels like a fake conversation and you knew it was like only going for the sale. Whereas the way you kind of do it, it just feels natural. And it's like, hey, if you're interested, go ahead and come take a peek. And that brings me to, and Roxanne, maybe you knew I was going to ask this question. Grace, do you know what your human design is?
Most people don't know what that is, Taryn. Taryn.
No. So I'm going to give you homework, Grace, because I want you, because the way you're describing it might really line up with what I potentially think you are.
Well, hang on, because I know where you want to go with this. So Grace, question, do you know what time you were born?
Yes.
Okay. Put it in the chat. We're in Zoom. We're not going to tell the world, but put it in the chat. Your time, place, and Taryn, you can just put it in right now and see, because I know you're dying to know.
You want me to look? Okay.
Yeah,
Time and place.
So put the time, place, date, full birth date. When you've done that, I'll ask you some questions while Taryn does her little calculation. I know what you're thinking. Some of this, I'm like, is she an introvert? Is it because she's really this or that? Or okay. So
I'm going to know how old I am.
We won't say it out to the world.
Yeah, it's all very private in the chat.
I don't mind at all. And as a matter of fact, I don't mind saying that I'm an older mom, because I know there's a lot of older moms out there that is far and few between to connect with folks. So I'll just say it. I'm 47 and I have a 6-year-old at home.
Yay! I applaud.
So if you're an older mom out there and you need someone just to chat with, feel free to reach out to me.
So while she's doing that, I want to ask you, so as an introvert, I'm curious, social media is very, very putting yourself out there social, or some people would say that, and it's true. It is. You're putting yourself out there. What parts of social media have you found more enjoyable than others?
I like, train. My backyard backs up to a railroad track. It's great at 5 o'clock in the morning, let me tell you.
You have no problem getting up in the morning.
Nope, not at all. You get used to it after a while, but still. So with social media, I'm one of those people that likes to scroll to see what everybody's doing without having to be social. So without having to talk to everybody all the time. And so I like being able to share things, on the personal side, I like being able to share things about my son because he's just kind of like my world. And so that's all over my personal stuff. As far as the business goes, it's more about showing how I engage with the products that I sell, because I feel like that is what makes me, without having to get too personal about my stuff. There's some folks that are comfortable with sharing every aspect of their life. That's not me, because I am an introvert. There are some things that I just don't put out there. Direct messaging is nice, but it can be scary too, because it's like me with sending emails. I love getting emails. and I love sending emails, but I do spend a lot of time trying to figure out what to write in that message, in that post, in that email. And so
we call it overthinking, don't we? In our coaching calls, we call it overthinking. Like, Grace, don't overthink it.
I overthink a lot.
But can I give you some like kudos? So as you've been going on, we're going on this journey, like you have been rocking it and you created something pretty amazing. And as we met this past month, we worked set on deadlines for you to make this happen. And I think it's freaking genius what you're doing. I'd love for you to share it if you tell us about it, and then we'll find out about your human design. But tell everyone what you're doing, because not only is it like, it's a big task that you're working on, but also it's ready to go. And I just want to applaud you on that, because as someone who's an introvert, and B, an overthinker, as we call it, right? You think about all of the different things. Sometimes it's hard to get something from a thought to actually creating it. So tell us what you're doing.
So I am doing Easter book boxes. And first of all, because it's almost Easter is coming up soon. And what I've learned from the pandemic is that if you only have candy from the Easter bunny, then it can be a very, very long day. Yes. So it's good to have something else to kind of counter with that, so it's nice to, after the sugar induced hysteria in the morning, that there's, some books or activities that can be done to bring a little bit of peace and quiet into the home. And so I'm doing Easter book boxes, and it's something that I actually have thought about doing a couple of years ago. So I actually have these books in stock in my home, but we can put something together online as well. But what's great about it is you can choose from 3 boxes. I'll let you know how many books you can choose from that price. It's got the titles on there, and it makes it a little bit easier for you to figure out what might be good to put in the Easter basket with the Easter bunny for the kids, because the Easter bunny books are heavy. We don't like to carry all those books, first of all, and second of all, with the UBAM catalog, there is over 1,800 titles, and so for someone to just go in there and maneuver through the site, that can take a long time as well. So I want to make it easier for moms and dads to work with the Easter bunny and figure out what books would be really good to put in there that will last longer than sugar.
Fantastic. So you're the Easter bunnies. Go ahead, Taryn. Go ahead.
I was going to say, here's your first customer. Like, I'm in, because you're talking to me my language of, I don't want to make a decision. I make so many decisions. You've got a box. I got 3 options. Sold.
I knew you were going to love it. I'm like, oh, Taryn's going to love this. So basically you're the Easter bunny's helper, and the Easter bunny wants all the kids to have some yummy candy and some books. And so when do we need to order the book boxes in order to get them Easter?
The deadline's really April 4th, because I am including free shipping on that. And that's just a guarantee that it will get there by Easter, because even the Easter bunny might be affected by all the shipping issues that are currently going on. So we don't want to stress out the Easter bunny. But also, if we need to, we can discuss if it's after the 4th and you're interested in it. Let's just say you're just finding out about this and it's after the 4th, I can work with you so we can chat about that.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And there's going to be information, of course, right here on the show page, but also we'll get you her information in a second. So without further ado, if you do human design, you're probably very curious as well too. Taryn and I are like into this human design. Basically, I'm not going to go into the details. You have to look up what it is, but everybody's a certain type of design, essentially. And dun, 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 Taryn is dying to tell you what you are. Go for it.
Well, first of all, Roxanne, do you want to guess? What's your guess?
She's not a generator. Okay. I don't think she's a manifesting generator either. Oh, she is.
Nope.
No, she's not. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think, because she said that she needs a lot of rest. So that's throwing, is she a projector?
So that's where my brain went to.
Or
I was like, ooh, the rest. Grace, you are a manifester.
She is a manifester. Okay. We're manifesting together, Grace.
Yeah. You and Roxanne are both manifestors. And I mean, I can just speak from the outside because I'm not a manifestor, but you are here to inform. So the way how you're going into people's DMs and you're kind of just like letting them know what you offer is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You don't need to do anything else besides, well, I'll let Roxanne do the coaching part of what else to do. But I'm saying like you're doing it properly to what feels good to your human design. So I'll link the chart for you in the chat so you can look into it. It's kind of fun.
Here's the other thing that's interesting, you being a manifestor. So that like makes sense because you had this great idea for this book box, right? And you're like, I had it a couple years ago and then life happened. And manifestors come up with these great ideas that we put into the world and people love them. But we don't have the energy to keep them going. We are the sparks. So it's like, boom, here you go, world. And then we're like, hey, you those of you who love to just like go, you go ahead and make this a thing. So it makes a lot of sense knowing you're a manifestor now because you're like, I have this idea. And a lot of your ideas might sit here in like an incubator. Like I've never done anything with it because you just need to know that what you do is create it, put it out there. And then when it feels like it's not your thing anymore, that's okay. You move on. This is interesting. Did I get it? I'm learning more about being a manifestor. I just found out I was a manifestor like 3 months ago. But I do wear it like a badge. I really do. Because only 9% of the population happen to be manifestors. So we're pretty bad. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out that link. So does that mean I need a Taryn also?
It does actually. That is exactly what I mean. Really? Yeah. I mean, awesome. Grace, how much more put together is my life since I got a Taryn, right? Yeah.
Everybody needs a Taryn.
Everybody. Do you know how many times Megan Summerall and I said that? Oh, everyone needs a Taryn. It's like, I know. I'm like, I have a Taryn. Sorry. Megan has some other girl, like a Kate or something. I don't know her name, but I have a Taryn.
And Taryn
Megan has a Taryn. It's official.
Yeah.
It's funny because people will like ask that and it's like, there's only one of me and I keep looking for other people like me. So I need to create like a little networks of me's to be able to pass them out to the world,
Yeah. I think she just said she wants to clone herself. That's what I heard.
Was it Multiplicity? Was that the name of the movie with or Duplicity or something?
It was something like that. You have to understand that Taryn is like, she's not even, when we're recording this, she's not 31 yet. So I hear you. And yes, was that with Michael Keaton? Was it Michael Keaton? Yeah. Okay. I hear you, but she has no idea who Michael Keaton is. So it's all good, but I'm with you here.
I mean, I feel like I've heard the name, but let me disclaimer, I don't know pop culture at all anyways. So regardless of my age, like that stuff, I mean, I know who SpongeBob is, so we can leave it there. I'm
43 now. So I'm with you over here. I understand what you're saying there, Grace. There's that. So I love this so much, Grace. I hope you understand. And I have to say something. So when we have our any coaching calls I've ever had with Grace that are group coaching calls, she is quiet as a church mouse. If it's popcorn, like anyone can ask a question, or hot seats, I do not expect Grace to be the first one. I know that we'll like get to the end of the alphabet. We don't go in alphabetical order, and I'm like, okay, anyone else? And finally Grace is like, I'll go. And she always has insightful, wonderful things to say. And she's always in the chat, like encouraging other people, but she is not the first to like raise her hand, like, I want to be the next person to talk. And so I hope Grace, and whenever there's someone like you who's an introvert in the group, I hope you guys know how valuable your voice is and how much you matter and all the things that you're doing matter so much. The journey with picking up a book business, really, because your son loves to read books. I hope you realize how many people you have encouraged to get back into the books. It is hard when the world is saying, get a tablet, FaceTime. FaceTime's bad, but here's a new phone. To say, I'm going to buy some books. It's not easy when the bookstores, I mean, I remember back in my day, we could stop by a bookstore on the way home and like, we'd see many of them. And that's not a thing anymore. And it's not to say FaceTime is bad. I am not a mom. I cannot say those things, but I love the fact that you are creating a vehicle and an easy way for people to get books and puzzles and things for their kids if they want another way for their kids to learn. And I also want to applaud you for being so candid about your journey and this and, finding out that your son may be on the spectrum and just figuring out what that's like. And just being so relatable. I think that what you're going to find your superpower is that you're relatable and you're real and you're able to connect with so many people and you can squat without showing your crack.
Woo!
I can do a proper squat too.
There we go. I love that so much. How do we find out you more? If people wanted, I listen, if you have a child, what is the age limit would you suggest for the Easter book box? I should have asked that earlier.
I would say probably there are some books there that are 6 and above, but I would say if the Easter Bunny makes a trip to your house, there is something there for the child.
Got it. I love that. So there you go. If the Easter Bunny makes a trip to the house, she's got some books from the Easter Bunny to add to that pot. So definitely reach out to you. Where do we find you on Instagram? And of course, all this information will be on the show page, but tell us.
You can find me at the Grace Farquhar. Last name is spelled F as in Frank, Arquhar. So the Grace Farquhar. And it happens to be the same on Facebook too. So you can find me there as well.
She'll be slide into her DMs and she can get you a box by April 4th. Or if it's after April 4th, she can still work with you. Thank you so much. We love having you here. And go check out your human design. Let us know what you think. Manifestor.
No, I'm really, really interested because it makes sense now because I think my husband might be that way too, because he comes up with all these wonderful ideas and gives it to me to implement. And I'm like, that was your idea. Why am I doing it? And so now it makes sense as to why I get put off by it.
You have no idea, girl. Like manifestors do not like to be told what to do.
So now it makes a little more sense. I got it.
Yes, go do his chart too. That link I shared, you can go at the top. There's my chart and you can enter his information too. It's so fun. You're going to go down a whole rabbit hole of information.
Agreed. Wow. I reached out to one of my oldest friends and I said, oh my gosh, my 20s make so much more sense now. Total sense. Yes. Total sense. Yeah.
My 30s don't, but my 20s do.
Oh, hang on. When you read more about it, you're like, oh my gosh, it all makes sense. So thank you so much, Grace. We loved having you and come back. We want to come back. We want you to come back and see us soon. Okay.
Thank you for having me. And yes, I will be back. Just let me know.
Sounds great. We warned you, Grace was amazing. I hope you enjoyed that. And I do hope that if the Easter Bunny comes to your house, you're going to make sure to get that Easter book box.
I'm going right now.
You are totally
going. I need her Instagram. I need these books from the Bunny.
You become quite the network marketing shopper.
Yeah, I have. And I love it. It's great. I mean, I guess I always have been though. I always have been.
Same, but you're finding new things too. You're like, oh, I want that. Oh, I want that. So behind the scenes, what's been going on with you, Missy?
I redid my office. So you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see I moved it around.
It looks so good, y'all. It looks so good. You no longer are part of the background.
I know. So that's what I kept seeing when I would watch myself on video. It was kind of like one plane, and it's because I was close. So I would always face this other direction because then I had a blank wall behind me. But I was like, you know what? Why can't I put curtains up? So that way you don't see my huge big screen TV and treadmill. So here it is, a little bit more space facing a window. It's very cloudy outside today.
It looks amazing. Just so you know, I love it. Looks really good.
Thank you. What's up with you?
I just got back from my birthday trip.
Yeah. Amazing.
I did my story so everyone could see what I was up to, which was just shenanigans with Hannigan. Phenomenal. It was a great time, good food, worked out. We worked out with a trainer. Remember I told you we were doing that, which was phenomenal. I highly recommend it. Go ahead and get wherever you're staying, get the trainer or whatever. She was awesome. She worked her butts. Scott was sore. I was sore. And then we didn't care about what we ate. So I went to Nacho Daddy and I had those nachos. They were amazing. And the drinks and then the Eiffel Tower. Remember I told you that my birthday dinner was at the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. Literally,
Ooh, okay.
You're on the strip. The Bellagio fountains are like right there. And it's like a half moon table. So you're both getting to look outside. And the food was phenomenal. Yes.
I always thought the Eiffel Tower was just like a structure. I didn't know you could go in it. So that's fun.
Yeah. I guess you can go to the top and look at everything, but then like about halfway a little above the base, they have the restaurant, which is, go do it. It's amazing.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, if I go to Vegas, I'll have you meet me there because you know all the things there. I'm like, oh my gosh, she has like the best Vegas trips.
I don't know all the things. I just know enough of the things. There's so many things there. Yeah. And when you don't gamble, like I don't have a problem with gambling. I just don't like to lose money. Like I want to know where it's going. You have to find all the experiences. And so there it is. So
have you zip lined? Did you do the zip line over Fremont Street?
I did not do the zip line over Fremont Street or any of the zip lines. I did zip line once with my nephew when he came to visit me in Austin. And I was like, this is stupid. Why am I pushing myself off a perfectly good platform? Only because he went first and I couldn't leave him. I'm like, all right, let's just do this. But I'm not I don't need a zip line. It's fine. It's not stupid. Congrats to everyone who likes it, but I just don't need to do that.
All right, manifester.
I don't need to do that. Bring on y'all. I'm good. So yeah, that was fantastic. And coming back has been actually good as well too. I want to let everyone know we've been doing some changes to the podcast. I want to mention that before I forget. So if you subscribe to the podcast, you might want to subscribe again just in case, because we move the platform. And that's all you really like. We move the platform. So if you have subscribe again, just to make sure you're on I don't want you to miss a new episode. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We want you hanging out with us every week. So
hang with you. Absolutely. Well, okay. I think we've taken enough of your fantastic time this month. Wishing you guys a great April. It's going to be fantastic. No fooling, y'all. It's going to be great. Get it? No fooling. April Fools.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Stop.
All right.
Yes. Good. Got it. With that, we leave.
Thanks so much for listening to the Roxtalks podcast. You're not ahead. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And we'll see you next week for another great episode. Bye.
See you next week.